That's me. Welcome back, everyone. My guest has written a book. Yes, a book. Now, speaking of books, I'm going to get off here a little bit, but we'll get back to the guest. Speaking of books, my daughter was looking for a book. So she said, let's go to a bookstore, a physical bookstore. They call them bricks and mortar. And we still have some here in Southern California. So over at the Grove, it's a shopping center in Southern California, they have a Barnes & Noble, which is one of the last remaining chain bookstores. And this one is huge. You go in, there's a magazine section, a section where they actually sell vinyl LPs, CDs, DVDs, and Blu-ray. But I didn't see any VHS tapes. Okay, on to the second floor, more books. And the third floor, even more books. I'm talking thousands and thousands of books. And the book she is looking for is by author Bram Stoker. Now, if you know the author, you probably know the book. And you probably are excited that this is Halloween week. Okay, so the book is Dracula. Yes, that Dracula. And you might have seen the movie by Francis Ford Coppola, starring Gary Oldman, Keanu Reeves, Winona Ryder, and Anthony Hopkins. And you probably know them from different movies or series. For example, you probably know Gary Oldman from Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight movies, Keanu Reeves from the Matrix movies, Winona Ryder from Beetlejuice, or more recently, Netflix Stranger Things, and Sir Anthony Hopkins. I don't need to say anymore. Okay, I promise we're getting to my guess. So we're looking through all these sections and we go in like a little maze. And finally she sees the book and what she says to me is this: that is hideous. She was talking about the cover. It looked like a poster from a really bad 1970s Dracula movie. So of course she doesn't want it, and I agree with her. So I say, let's just get it on Amazon. And then, as we're leaving, I see one of the employees at the help desk, and I ask him, hey, do you have a moment to help us? He says, sure. I said, we're looking for a book by Bram Stoker, and right away he takes off. But he goes to another section, not where we were. So we follow him, and he shows us 3 choices. 2 of them had the classic covers. And the classic series is a collection of books like The Canterbury Tales, Pride and Prejudice, you know the ones I'm talking about. And then he takes my daughter to another section, and she comes back with a beautiful red cover book. The font is cool. The red cover has kind of like texture to it, and on the side of the pages, on the side of the book, it's black. And she's in love with the book. And of course, being the good dad I am, or trying to be, I say, okay, I'll get it for you. So we get it. The reason I tell the story is simply, if you're looking for a book, go to a bookstore and see they have it. Support your local bookstore. Okay, to my guest. My guest is
Ahngel Ali.
And Ahngel Ali, now you have written a book, but before we get to the book, mostly vegan, and just to let you know, as a good host, I ordered the book on Amazon.
Thank you.
But because it rained yesterday in Southern California, it got stuck in transit. Yeah. So, but I'm looking at the cover.
Okay.
Okay. It says by Ahngel Ali, and there are some letters after about we do LA something.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So the first is a capital L, capital A, and a little C, and that's a licensed acupuncturist. So in California, I'm a primary healthcare physician. I am a licensed acupuncturist. So I went through a program for, at least 3 years. And then I had to sit for a licensing exam. So it's not even a certification, it's a license. And like all professionals who have a license, I have to do continuing ed units all the time. I have a quota that has to be filled every 2 years. That's like for, doctors, attorneys, CPAs, anybody with a license always has to do continuing ed units. So, we don't get stale. And then there's a second set of letters. It's Dipl AC, and that's a diplomat of acupuncture. So at the time that I was licensed, and this is 28 years ago, it has been quite a while at this point. There were some states, and I do think it might still be this way, that did not have a licensing program for acupuncturists. So if you wanted to be an acupuncturist in those states, they accepted a national certification. So I also sat for that exam.
What exactly is acupuncture and why would someone need it or when would someone need acupuncture?
Acupuncture in Chinese thousands of years ago was used preventively. When people went to their village acupuncturist, that acupuncturist was supposed to keep people healthy. And as long as the acupuncturist was keeping his patients healthy, they paid him. When somebody ended up with a health problem, they went to the acupuncturist and got treated, but they didn't have to pay the acupuncturist because something went wrong, right? But if they had been going regularly and kept up with their preventive health and kept taking very good care of their bodies, they didn't pay their acupuncturist. So it was only when somebody had a problem. But that's not how we in America use acupuncture. America basically is all about crisis, right? But okay,
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
it's the tax deadline. It's April 15th and everybody's still up doing their taxes, right?
Right.
You've been given this deadline and everybody knows it, but here it is. It's midnight and everybody's still trying to get their taxes done, right? But that's how Americans manage their health also, right? Most Americans don't think preventively. And if you take care of yourself preventively, you don't have the big crisis or some small crises that end up with a catastrophic problem. So in America, most people come in to see me only when they have a problem. I handle people with, colds, flus, migraines. I treat a lot of chronic degenerative diseases and a lot of autoimmune problems. But again, all of that is after the fact. I have a small portion of patients who see me on a regular basis to make sure they stay healthy. And that's the best way to use acupuncture. So people don't even have to have a problem to go see an acupuncturist. You're better off not having a problem and staying on top of your health and letting somebody help you be your best. Or if somebody has like a sports injuries respond great to acupuncture. If they have a low back problem, a neck problem, all types of headaches respond great to acupuncture. And my practice really is more about custom making herbs. I do acupuncture, but I custom make herbal formulas. So all those situations are situations where I give patients herbs as well.
Are you snacking while listening to my podcast? Well, check out Vegan Rob's Puffs, all plant-based. Beet, cauliflower, spinach, and dragon. Ooh, they are hot. Something new I discovered, turmeric crisp. They're in a canister and they're potato chips. So check out Vegan Rob's at your market, Amazon Prime, or veganrobs.com. What do you mean by herbs? What is that?
Okay, so herbs are basically plants, right? They're leaves, they're twigs, they're roots, they're stems, they're flowers. So I have in my herbal pharmacy, which is over 300 individual herbs, and that is a very rare pharmacy, by the way. Most acupuncturists, herbalists do not have that.
And the purpose of the herbs is to maintain health. Is that correct?
Well, that would be a really nice use of herbs. And again, I get to do that for some patients, but the majority of my practice is treating people after they already have problems, they come in. So I use herbs for a lot of digestive disorders, a lot of irritable bowel syndrome, inflammatory bowel disease, colitis, SIBO, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. I treat a lot of patients with autoimmune conditions like fibromyalgia, thyroiditis, Hashimoto's, rheumatoid arthritis. I have MS patients. I've treated patients with cancer going through chemotherapy and radiation. I've had COVID patients because I have herbs that are antiviral.
Oh, okay. Now, herbs come from plants, correct?
Correct.
Speaking of plants, now we talk about your book, Mostly Vegan.
Yes.
And now, before we get into Mostly Vegan, I want to talk about what vegan is and what isn't vegan.
Okay. Yeah, I was actually vegetarian at 14. There was no internet. There was no nothing. There was no information about how to be a vegetarian. I don't even think there was a book out. I was 14 years old. I was growing up. I was living at home. And so I was vegetarian for a few years. And then later, when I was much older, I became vegan. Vegan is people who take all animal products out of their diet. So they eat nothing that is from an animal. And some people who are very strict vegan will also not even eat a product that is made from an animal, like honey. Some people also won't even wear a leather belt or wear leather shoes, or some women won't get a leather purse. Right. So every person gets to choose where they want to draw those lines. Somebody who's not having dairy products and is very strict, is more of a vegan.
Got a little craving for a burger and side of fries? Maybe you don't eat red meat. Well, check out the plant-based menu at Veggie Grill. Nachos, a Reuben, a tuna melt, desserts, salads, chicken sandwiches, all at Veggie Grill. Check out the app and you can get rewards for free meals. VeggieGrill.com. Since you wrote a book called Mostly Vegan, let's talk about the subtitle, the science behind why you should eat more veggies.
You and I are probably around the same age. We grew up and we always heard mom say, eat your veggies, eat your veggies. And that's what moms used to say. Yeah, there's still moms today that still say, eat your veggies to your kids. And, they may not have, all the information about why. Of course, we know, oh, they have vitamins, they have minerals, it has stuff your body needs. Well, now, because of where science is, and they can figure out exactly what's in all of these veggies, it's not just the vitamins and the minerals, but it's more the phytonutrients, right? So even now you go online and you look at what vitamins and minerals certain vegetables will supply, and that's easy to find. But maybe more importantly, is really those phytonutrients. And it's those phytonutrients that these different plants provide. That's what our cells need. That's what helps all of our organs and our glands and our central nervous system and our lymph system and our immune system. It's those phytonutrients. Those phytonutrients play huge roles in cell-to-cell communication. So it's the phytonutrients like lycopene from tomatoes.
Okay.
And lycopene you can find in red, yellow, orange vegetables, as well as the carotenoids. There's a lot of carotenoids. And people think of carotenoids with carrots. Mm-hmm. Exactly right. Right. Carotenoids do have, they're orange and they are in carrots and, orange, yellow, red bell peppers. So it's the carotenoids. And then you have other phytonutrients in other vegetables, like you have the isocyanates in broccoli. And those are some of the best phytonutrients for you. In fact, the cruciferous group of vegetables, some of the best vegetables you can eat. And all of this is in the book, Mostly Vegan. So, in fact, people might wonder, well, how do you go from being an herbalist to writing a book about being mostly vegan? To me, it is the same thing. I mean, as an herbalist, mm-hmm. I'm dealing with plants and I have to know the functions of those plants, especially for the way I practice, because I custom make herbal formulas for my patients. I don't just grab a pre-made formula off the shelf and give it to my patients. I have to know how every single one of those herbs in my pharmacy can help people. And every single one of those herbs can do anywhere from 5 to 10 different things in a body.
Wow. That's amazing in itself right there. I want people to know that it's okay to be mostly something, kind of something. You don't have to adhere to the strict regimen and you can go on and off it. The most important thing is to keep yourself healthy and what makes you happy and comfortable to eat.
There's a lot of information, obviously, in the book about why you want to make that choice. And, again, the science behind why you want to eat more veggies than anything else for what it supplies to you. Someone else also let me know they were really happy that the book came out and it did say mostly vegan because her spouse was thinking about becoming vegan, but it felt like a lot of pressure. And this actually then took the pressure off so that the person could be mostly vegan. And you know what? If you want something that would not be in a vegan diet, go ahead. Once in a while, go ahead. As long as most of the time you stay vegan, and here's the reasons why, right there in the book.
Did you know you can support your favorite charity while shopping on Amazon? That's right, smile.amazon.com. As an Amazon Prime member, they support my choice, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. So go to smile.amazon.com, select your favorite charity, and let them do the rest. Are there recipes? Is there something that you can guide them to help the transition if they're going from being a carnivore into vegan or mostly vegan? So is there a transition schedule, to help them start the vegan journey?
Right. Okay. So those are good questions. In the beginning of the book, it does list, there's ways you can go vegan. You can make it, this many days or that many days, you get to choose. This does not have recipes in it. So there's two options. Here's why. Number one, I do have out and available, and it's been available for several years, a full body 30-day vegan cleanse program. It is completely vegan, completely vegan. I designed this several years ago. And I designed it because after years of hearing my patients tell me, oh, you have to write that down. You have to write that down, telling me to write down everything I was telling them.
Yeah.
Well, I finally did write it all down. And that became the full body 30-day vegan cleanse program. And the reason it's a program is that it's not just, hey, for 30 days, eat vegan, but 30 days of here is day one. Here's your breakfast recipe. Here's your lunch recipe. Here's your dinner recipe. Here is day two. Here's your breakfast recipe, your lunch recipe, your dinner recipe, and on for 30 days. So it is a blueprint. All you have to do is open it and follow it. And people love that they just have to follow it. They don't have to think. They just have to grocery shop and then cook. And not only is it just those 30 days of follow recipes, so it's loaded with recipes, obviously, but I designed 4 herbal formulas to go with it. And that's what makes it a program. It's not just eat this way. It's here, take these herbs too, because this is based on how I've been getting my patients healthy for all these years. I changed their diet and I put them on herbs.
Wow.
So there's 4 weeks of herbs taken in a proper sequence, which is every bottle is labeled week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. And this way, as the person is eating vegan, they're eating healthier foods. Those herbs work into deeper and deeper layers, organs into their body by week 3 and week 4. So that's one option. The other option is in a few months, there is a companion cookbook coming out for Mostly Vegan.
Oh, really? How cool.
There is. It is in the works.
Okay. And just let people know, Mostly Vegan is your third book.
Yes, there's a little book I did called 30 Easy Vegan Lunches to Bring to Work.
Have you tried any plant-based milks lately? My favorite brand, Silk. Soy milk, almond milk, and oat milk. It is free from dairy, gluten, carrageenan, cholesterol, artificial colors, and flavors. I add it to my chai tea. First, I froth the milk, put some cinnamon in there, mixed it together, and good. Let's talk about Majid, your husband of many years, and your co-owner of your business. Is that correct?
Yeah. We own our business together. It is called Ali, A-L-I, Ali Optimal Wellness. So we are both licensed acupuncturist herbalists. Our practice is custom making formulas for patients.
How did you two meet? Because I understand your background as a dancer,
right?
And his background as a bodybuilder. How did that happen?
I actually met him because I became a patient first.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. And I tell him it's a damn good thing I'm happy because I could sue him. To that, he just responds and said, yeah, but what's your last name now? So you see how that goes in my household, right? Yeah, that's how that goes. So the good thing is we are truly happy. We get along wonderfully. We are in the same field. So we both understand each other very well. That helped a lot in raising our kids because we both had the same views on how to raise our kids as far as, their health is concerned. And that health, really does have to start at home.
Okay. So we talked about your book.
Yes.
By the way, did you know Jane Goodall is a vegan? She recently turned vegan during the pandemic.
I did. I saw that somewhere. I think that's great.
When it comes to working out, do you feel unmotivated? Well, let me tell you something. With my Apple Watch, I got Apple Fitness Plus. They have dozens of workouts from 5 minutes all the way up to 45. HIIT, yoga, core, strength, cycling, treadmill, new meditation, and Pilates. And the virtual coaches are always there to motivate you. Apple Fitness Plus. These are kind of general questions that I ask everybody towards the end of the show. 2020, the year of the pandemic.
Yes.
How will you remember 2020?
Oh, boy. I think of 2020 almost as the year that wasn't.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's really weird because a lot of us had, Zoom meetings. You're on Zoom meetings, whether they were business things or your social events. And then if you were talking to somebody later, and this is what all of people do in their life, and especially even before the pandemic, you would go, oh yeah, I was talking to so-and-so, and you're trying to picture where you were and recall a certain conversation because you could always recall the time and the place. But now, because everything was on Zoom, you didn't have that different time and place. You know what I mean? your way of looking back at time. Where was I?
Yeah.
And it was a very hard year for so many people. I mean, all of us that lived through this will never forget this year.
Right.
Yeah. Well, especially like, okay, in our generation, right? Our generation, we've had it really good.
Yeah.
It wasn't Vietnam. It wasn't what our parents went through with other things. It wasn't the Depression. It wasn't a lot of other things that millions of people have lived through. We had it really good. And then this hit.
When you wake up in the morning, the first thing you eat or drink is?
Well, I drink 12 ounces of water. I'm not very exciting. I drink 12 ounces of water right off the bat.
Okay, what's funny about that is my yoga teacher, I asked her and she said it's water and lemon because it's an Ayurvedic thing.
Right.
And most of the other people I talk to, it's always, coffee. Got to be coffee.
So yeah, again, I'm not exciting. I drink 12 ounces of water, and then maybe 20 minutes or so after that, I have a cup of black tea or green tea with nothing in it. No sweetener, no nothing. I like the straight tea just like that.
Okay. So next, last vacation. Where did you, and I think you're a family person, so where did you, the family, go on your last vacation?
Yeah, we travel as a gang of four. We're a gang of four still. Luckily for my husband and I, the boys do still vacation with us.
Mm-hmm.
And well, we have been very lucky that we found a place that we have returned to 16 times.
Wow.
We found a dude ranch in Colorado, and it changed our lives. And the boys were young and they got to run around and be cowboys. These were city boys from LA, and they discovered a life that they sure as heck didn't have here.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And Majid and I fell in love with it as well. And we met other families that we love and we are still very dear friends with. And we have gone back there 16 times. My boys have even worked there as wranglers in the summer.
Really?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and say it because for us, it's a magical place. It's named Cherokee Park Ranch, and it's in the state of Colorado.
With the holidays here, maybe you're thinking about going away. Maybe you can't get a hotel. Maybe you're not sure about Airbnb. How about VRBO? That's right, VRBO. Vacation rentals, houses, condos in many of the towns and cities around the world. Check them out on the web, do your research, and have yourself a very happy holiday season. Leisure time.
Leisure time? I get leisure time? I do. I do yoga. The things I love to do with my time, I do. I do yoga. I love to cycle. I get on my road bike and I cycle.
Cool.
So I do that, and I love to work out, and I love to read. And now that we have a doggy, I take him out for walks and hikes. And then I get time with friends. I love seeing my friends and just being able to hang out with them.
It sounds like, Ahngel, you have a really charmed life.
I have balance in my life. And that is one of the things that you learn when you go into acupuncture college, that your health is about balance.
Yes.
And, as an acupuncturist, well, to have a happy life, you need to have balance. So that is one of the things that Majid and I both have. We both have balance in our lives. Our kids have grown up watching this, so they understand that there is a balance. And when you have that balance of all the elements in your life that you want, you're going to be happy.
That's great. I mean, that's just a great philosophy in life, is to have that. And it sounds like you have it, but it also sounds like you worked hard to get it.
Yes. Yeah. It didn't just come. It didn't come. I worked for all these things. And I still do.
Before we go, real quick, your book, I want people to know where they can get your book, what it's called, and how they can get in touch with you.
Okay. So my book is on Amazon. It is called Mostly Vegan: The Science Behind Why You Should Eat More Veggies. Mm-hmm. My name is Ahngel Ali. It's Ahnjel. Last name is Ali, Ali. Mm-hmm. You can look me up at Ali Optimal Wellness. So ALI, mm-hmm. the word optimalwellness.com. And you could call my office. You could email me there. Another thing that I have that many people have fell in love with is I have brain support latte formulas. So I have a turmeric latte formula to support brain health. I have Maki cacao, which is a chocolate berry flavor. And I also have a superfood maca cacao, which is like hot cocoa on, I call it the adults version of hot cocoa.
Wow.
And those all have herbs in them to promote the glands in your brain to be healthy and to restore them. So people sleep great, they function great. So those are all available at my office.
Cool. Well, I'm going to get over there because I have to come see you in Majid. I haven't seen you in a while because I want to keep myself healthy. And Ahngel Ali, I want to again thank you for being on my podcast. It was a real pleasure speaking to you.
It was so nice speaking to you. Thank you so much for having me, Glenn. It was very nice. Yes, I would love to see you soon.
And thank you, everyone, for listening and supporting my podcast and checking out my sponsors. So until next time, on My Friend Glenn, don't forget, during your day, take a moment and smile because you know you're worth it.